There is no need for anger. Soon we will be one, joined in the world.
Don't tell me how to play.
My lady, bad news, I'm afraid.
Warning, incoming game. Warning, incoming game.
The first question one has when meeting another fan of ReBoot, that is of course firstly presuming that the aforementioned ReBoot fan out there is still lucid and capable of coherent thought, and believe me, that in itself is quite a stretch when considering the state of this 80s to 90s addicted hippies. Honestly, can you imagine any other worst time in human history someone could possibly be nostalgic for? Post 9/11, apartheid South Africa. All I have to say regarding politics is to the face of those who's choosing to blame President Trump all day and doing nothing but neglecting their duties as an angry video game reviewer to go be a social justice warrior on Twitter for bloody months, man. It is pompous. It is, how you Americans say it, stupidity.
Fuck you, politics, man! Fuck you!
Monster ranching aside, you have no idea how beyond pathetic and demoralizing it is to see people I know still desperately clinging to Robotech 30 years after the fact. I don't want to start quoting Kylo Ren, but let the past die. It's beyond pathetic to see grown men whom I once respected unable to let their own childhoods die, so shattered and depressed at the present like it's some kind of a coping mechanism, and I've had it said like that straight to my face, but I'm getting way the fuck off topic. So, what did I think of the Guardian Code? I can't exactly say my expectations were raped. I survived Code Lyoko evolution with my sanity mostly intact. What amazing times we're living in where one can be a veteran of multiple bastardized live-action remakes raping your childhood franchises. Was it necessary? No, not really. Were there a lot of old-school ReBoot fans pissed off? Yes. It was good to see Megabyte return, even though he's subservient to even the Digimon Emperor is a more menacing and diabolical villain, but I guess it's an interesting dynamic, nothing wildly out of character. That is, of course, neglecting to mention the fact that he is speaking to Megabyte through a video window like he's Emperor Palpatine. Need I remind you that Megabyte being an abstraction of a computer virus, yet is somehow holding a conversation with an actual living human being? What a disgrace. What universe is this show set in, because it surely is not a fucking reboot. Did anyone even watch the original and fully capable to comprehend it? You see, this is why I say it. As a France-Canadian, only my perspective can be considered valid. No one can truly understand this Canadian content other than myself, and as a Quebecois, I am the only one who is qualified to review this material. But I digress. I am going to be honest with you here. I tapped out at episode 10. Bob looked weird and the show is too boring and beyond the dumb down. It is almost insulting to compare it to the original. Sad to say it. Not even being bitter or vindictive, it just sucks. Everything is so boring and drawn like it all falls apart, and yet somehow I'm the autistic one here. I don't know what else I can say about it that has not already been said. Obviously, the show is not for me. I love the original ReBoot. That shit is my childhood, but I think I'll be passing on this one. I am sure you have heard enough of my horrendous voice running my mouth about various loosely related topics. At last, without further ado, we move on to a subject matter worthy of my intellectual analysis and the actual point of this video review.
I think you can handle this this on your own, Bob. I'm out of here.
This is ReBoot, the game for the Sony PlayStation 1, also known as Countdown to Chaos. It is a very divisive game, most of the complaints focusing around the horrendous controls. They are the definition of floaty. You are literally maneuvering on a hoverboard for the entirety of the game. This game is notable for a number of reasons. The game is actually a prequel to the series. It appears to be canon with the ReBoot storyline, with the game's script and cutscenes all created by the show's original staff. There is also a few interesting reveals that are too good to spoil. We'll get to those later. This game is also notoriously difficult. I cannot even get past the second level without save states and cheats, and mark my words, I know what I am talking. I am no amateur, so without further ado, you are about to witness one of the hardest video games ever made.
Alright! Time to go! Let the battle begin! Digiport open! Yeehaw!
It's no good. I can't do it. I can no longer maintain this masquerade. It is useless to review this video game, as the legacy of the entire Spoonie experiment is crumbling all around us. Father in heaven, have mercy on our souls. In an effort to attain the promised land of angry video game reviews, the Spoonie experiment has been guided towards a very cruel destiny. Spoonie One, what have you done? It's been 2 years, 8 months, and 27 days since the Spoonie One's last angry video game review. Ever since that day, misguided actions by vulgar and conceited men who dare to call themselves Spoonie Experiment Authority have continually disgraced the Spoonie Experiment name, turning their backs on the art of angry video game reviewing. Has this era of Trump made them insane? These men have no right to be given any power. Shooter Andy, I'm sorry, but I cannot support the Spoonie experiment in the path it is taking. Angry video game reviewing is an art. It is a tradition built by deep, true feelings of people. I do agree that live wires can, indeed, at times, be funny, but at the same time I'd like to express my regret over the betrayed and outraged souls by appealing to you to recognize just how precious angry video game reviewing truly is. I believe what is important for the art of angry video game reviewing is not deceive and plunder loyal fan base, but rather one's attitude towards angry video game reviewing. I fear that the era of soulless, half-assed live wires, in other words, the era that certain forces within the Spoonie experiment is trying to create, is far too selfish and will be viewed as an embarrassment to future angry video game reviewers. Initially, by appearing on the center stage of history, Spoonie Experiment Organization used its influence to express our love of angry video game reviewing to the world, and help steer the times in the right direction. That strength and bravery was exceptional. I was moved by every action they took. Pure and genuine angry video game reviewer, having repeatedly witnessed the way you reviewed, I could not help but feel inspired. It changed something inside me, even altered my destiny. I'm sure it was the same thing with you, Shooter Andy. My support for that attitude is precisely why I founded the Spoonie Experiment Reunion Project within the United Spoonie Experiment fandom. I never expected their increased profitability would result in completely abandoning angry video game reviewing. As one who looks for meaning in angry video game reviews, I could not accept Antweiler's way of thinking. As long as mankind exists in this world, there will always be disagreements, and denouncing Trump will never lead to peace. It is natural for this world to continue arguing. If anything, Trump is a reprieve from the string of fascists that came before him. The Spoonie experiment is changing, and I found that I am sorely lacking in power. The Reunion Project. I can't imagine the Reddit moderation team allowing the rebellious actions of the reviewers that continue to support me. I might have suddenly found myself in a position where we must personally bury the Spoonie experiment. By forsaking all reviewing, the Spoonie experiment ends up allowing wordless actions by wordless people. I pity you, Antweiler. Even as a man of broken dreams, you might still have been remembered fondly. Your reviews lifted people, showed them the beauty of angry video game reviewing. You reviewed from the heart and inspired an entire generation of future angry video game reviewers. But what would the people think now? It's not your wallet that's empty. It's your very soul.